guys, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for the first episode of Knights of Truth, our brand new Numenera campaign. I am here, of course, with slightly messed up cameras, with Bob from Dice and Heroes, with Longshotters from Nerdarchy, McLoken, and the Mythematic Man himself. If you guys want to jump in here and interact with us, check in the donation section down below. There is a unique button just for this game. And if you guys want to support the channel, go check out our Patreon. That being said, let's jump right into things. Bob, take us away to the Ninth World.
Oh, well, hello. How is everyone today?
I'm good. Feeling pretty sexy.
I'm
10 out of 10.
I feel like that should be the reaction after the introduction. All right, so I wrote something out for the intro, so let's get into it. Over 1 billion years into the future, many civilizations have existed. Some have collapsed under their own weight. Some have left seeking new opportunities on distant worlds. Some have vanished, disappearing into black holes, never to be seen again. While the memories of these worlds are far removed from any life that exists today, their legacy remains. Large machines, technology so alien, the contemplation of it can drive a man mad. However, through the compost of these past civilizations, a new world grows, the Ninth World. Key, home to the Order of Truth, the strongest and most dominant organization in the Steadfast. They are the most trusted experts in handling and identifying the remnants of the past worlds, or as they call it, Numenera. A fantastical city bustling with life, a city jokingly described as being half in the sky, with large airships that settle on massive metal moorings riddled throughout the city. Large beams of light bend around buildings, racing through tunnels, offering a pathway for large metal tubes carrying people, supplies, and in this case, military personnel. The Order has declared war on the shaman-like Guyana to the north, whose ways of living threaten the very founding principles of the religious-like order. And so we find the camera panning in, a group of soldiers heading to the front line on what locals call the light rail. Some are chatting amongst themselves, some are checking their equipment respectively, hands shaking with the type of anxiety only the prospect of death can bring. The wail of a whistle lurches out as a sudden jolt of movement throws the metal tube in motion. Silence fills the cavern. The soldiers look around at each other, their thoughts visible on their faces. How many of us won't make it home? As the rail begins to move slowly through a city, a single soldier breaks the silence. Does anyone hear that? A monotone beep starts to fill the cabin. The soldiers look around at each other as the intervals of sound starts to quicken. Beep, 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 beep. The man stands up and begins to shout, "Run!" as a flash of fire bellows out of the train. Men, women, children, young or old. Metal shoots out, buildings crumble, bodies fly. The force of the explosion hits everything and everyone in the city block. The fire can be seen from inside the compound of the Order. And that's where the camera zooms in, on the face of our ragtag group of individuals. What do you guys do?
I would immediately rush towards that explosion to see if anybody needs help.
Okay, so what does your character look like as he's rushing towards there?
Zora?
Description.
Zora is about 6'4" female in full armor. She's a soldier. She has like long black hair and blue eyes, and she is just snapping to military discipline immediately to rush over there and see if anybody needs help.
Okay. The rest of you guys see this. What are you guys doing as well?
So we're in the light rail and
you're in the compound, watching out as the explosion happens outside the compound walls.
Got it.
Deanon stands there, leaned nonchalantly on the side of whatever building is around us, and doesn't move because he doesn't look like the kind of guy that does a whole lot of anything, really.
So what does he look like?
What he does look like is prince, a Middle Eastern prince, both the royalty and the artist formerly known as.
Right.
Yeah, he's a talker, not a doer.
Okay. What about you, Jacoby?
Jacoby has a long cardigan that has a hood fastened into the collar, or into, I guess, the lapel of it, goes into a long cowl, and that is usually always up. He has a tablet at his side. Usually just looks like a piece of like curved corner glass. It's been tempered to be able to stop a bullet if needed, but it is mainly just an iPad, but translucent. He has that, and he probably has that on. He also has a long T-shirt underneath that goes down to the middle of his thigh with probably skinny jeans. He is a hipster nano. And yeah, he's looking through his glass tablet here, and there's probably the tablet has maybe like a light green fluorescent to the text on it. And he's looking through it and doing his stuff, reading through the code, reading through the briefing once again as this goes off. And probably as it goes off, he holds the tablet down and he looks around to see how everybody reacts and notices that Deneen doesn't actually probably react. He goes, "Well, we have to go. Come on!" And he puts the tablet in his cardigan in the fastened spot in there, custom for his tablet and his code. And then you see he kind of fiddles and makes sure that his gauntlet underneath the cardigan, underneath the sleeve, is secure as he kind of starts to jog forward and waits for everyone else to react and fall in line.
Yeah. What about you, Scout?
So Scout would see all like everyone reacting, and he would look at everyone. And he's like, "So that's not normal, is it?"
I've never seen one explode before. Interesting. Normal. I doubt it.
Explosions are normal. Come on. They need our help. You have to serve the truth above all else.
I thought we were here to spread the truth.
I'm still not sure what the truth is, but if I can scrap some of those parts, I'm for it.
Yeah.
And Zora, as you reach the compound gate, you see a series of guards hoisting up the gate, and you see two of them run through, and they immediately close it behind them. What do you do?
They close it behind them?
Yeah, they're trying not to let anyone in.
So there's no like debris or like injured people on the street, right?
You can't tell from here. The only way to look out would be either go onto the ramparts or to look through the gate itself.
I'll go up and look through the gate.
You see a series of people who are kind of moving. One man is crawling away, a bloody stump for a leg. But most importantly, you see just behind them, a strange creature. Body blue and white, muscular in shape. They have spikes coming off of their shoulder blades and horns coming out of their head, a beak-like face. You see a man holding on to the rope, trying to keep it calm as it whooshes its head back and forth, swinging the man with it. He collides into a wall and collapses to the ground.
Have I ever seen anything like that before?
How much? You have a lot of experience with the city, right?
I don't know. And I imagine she was just kind of like a soldier on base or on deployed most of her life.
Yeah, this is a Kiltor. It's a beast of burden.
Oh, okay. So it's something not, unseen before. It's just like going berserk.
Yeah.
I guess I would try to lift the gate up myself and see if I could help.
Okay. As you run up and start to pull on it, the guards say, "What are you doing? We don't know who was attacked."
I'm just trying to help. I'm a soldier and a knight of truth, and he gave us an emblem or something like that, I believe.
Yeah, you have the badge.
I'll show that.
Okay. They look back at each other. They seem quite confused about this symbol. They've never seen it before. What do you want to do? Like they're hesitating at this point.
I say the man obviously needs help. Please let me help.
Okay. Do you want to make a roll for this, or?
Sure. First roll.
Yeah, and do it up.
Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So
foreshadow for the rest of the game. So don't.
All right.
Yeah.
No pressure.
In before Nat 1. Right. So how do you? You're trying to convince them, right? So you can simply roll intellect, but you can tell your job as a player is to convince me about the roll that you're about to make, and you can tell me what it's going to be.
I want to convince them that I can help with this beast by a massive display of strength and just trying to lift the gate up and be like, look, it looks like you're having a hard time there. I can help you, and just try to like throw it up.
Perfect. Go ahead and roll me might with, well, we're going to say because it's a heavy gate, where this is going to be a 4.
Difficulty 4. All right, see if I can use this interface correctly. No, bonus. And you hit the green one, and boom.
You're sitting there and you're trying to struggle.
And then you said that guy. You said he's like heavily injured.
Yeah, the guy crawling outside of there's massive amounts of bodies just kind of flown to the side.
But he's on the other side of the gate, right?
Correct.
I'll say then at least take this, and I'll take my stem out and put my hand through the gate.
The man is slowly starting to crawl towards the gate, reaching up at the stem. What's everyone else doing?
I'm jamming in.
Yeah. No, he's not there to you. There's probably
okay.
about a good 3 feet.
We're all together. At this, we saw this just happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're watching this. I'm assuming you guys are all rushing up because he was the first to take off.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna approach this gate that we can't lift. Right? Is that what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take out my tablet, and I'm going to then I pull up some sort of program. It looks like that drags like what looks like to be a circle where I'm touching on the pad.
Mm-hmm.
And as I have it, I swipe up, and as I'm swiping up, I swipe the circle that's illuminated onto the pad up and out of the touchpad. And with that, I'm going to use push, and I'm going to try to use the technology and my nano-ness to then use my push ability to try to open up the gate. Kind of use like a force push, but I'm swiping up.
Okay, cool. Does that particular move require a roll?
It could. It costs an intel.
Okay.
So I'm at that point now. And then
it's a difficulty 4.
Hold on, these have to be. These are all right, and then I'll do a difficulty 4.
Yeah.
That didn't look right.
So
for you, Myth, if you go to the action section of the character sheet and then see where it says difficulty, right to the right of action, and then change that to 4, and then roll your intellect.
Then actually roll it.
go do it again.
Not that one. Then actually roll it.
There you go. As you do, and you see Zora struggling, trying to push it up, and then stops, sticks his hand through, and as he's going to jab the stem into the man's arm, the gate flows up, yanking the stem out. This is going to be a GM intrusion. I'm going to yank the gate going up is going to yank the stem out and launch it over to what it looks like the roof. If you allow this to happen, if you would like to try to use some type of agility or something of that effect to try to pull it in faster, you can stop it from flying away.
Yeah, I'd love to.
So go for it. I gotta get out of the habit of telling you guys the rolls.
Is that a speed thing?
It could be whatever you want. You tell me the fiction, and
I'm gonna use her genetically superior reflexes.
Okay, do it up.
What's the difficulty?
Because it's moving up at a slow rate, I'm gonna give this a difficulty 3.
Okay. Let's do it.
Probably saw.
Dang.
Unfortunately, the stem flies forward. And you start to notice the man's face is going incredibly pale.
Am I able to do anything about this?
You can do whatever you want.
Can I use my physical prowess to jump up and grab it?
Yes, you can. Zora, make sure you add an experience. I'll give you one right now, too.
Don't forget, the rule we established in character creation was that Scout can do anything he wants.
Yeah.
That's right.
That was it.
Also, Zora's a female.
Oh, that's right. I forget. I apologize.
Oh, yeah, I didn't describe my character. So, as you see this, it looks like to be a smaller stature man. He's 5'4". His hair is parted down the middle with golden hair. You cannot see his face as he has a mask and goggles on that have mechanical devices on them to change his voice. And he wears a brown cloak, and it looks like he has a hunchback on, but really it's his backpack that his cloak is over. And so you see him, and it's going up what is going up the gate, or what is flying? Where is it flying exactly? So I know how to describe this.
Looks like it's flying upwards over the building to directly in front of the compound wall.
And what is it exactly that's flying over?
It's a stim, so I'm assuming it's like a needle or something like that, maybe like a quick interjection.
Okay. I would do a thing where he like kind of runs up the gate wall, like where the guard is, and jump up off of that and go to grab it as like his cloak flows open a little bit, and you just see like this very muscular arm grab, and he like grips onto, like balancing for a second and then launching himself off.
Yeah, so the walls are pretty high at this point. So I'm going to say that this would be a difficulty 5.
Okay. Let me difficulty.
And because you have like 12 million stats, I feel like it's fair.
Okay. And let's give a roll here. Success.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you easily leap up. You kind of just do a squat jump too, and your foot barely touches the top of the wall as you fly through, grab onto the stem, and land on the other side of the wall.
And then I throw the stem to Zora, who wanted to use it.
Yeah. So Zora, you now have the stem in your hand.
I will jab it down into that guy to like stabilize him or whatever.
Yeah, and you can see the color coming back to his face, and you know that it has definitely bought him some time. But without the wound being closed, this could be an issue. However, before we get into it, you do notice that the beast is now ravaging and knocking over what survivors there may have been.
Somebody's gonna have to stabilize this guy, and I'll just draw my mace and charge at the beast.
Okay. D-Nice, what are you doing?
Wow. Forgot that happened too. Deanon walks down. He is the last one to arrive because he saunters sassily that's just his mode of transport. He sachets down towards a violent attack, and he sees now the gate is flown open. There is a almost corpulent man there, 2 dumbfounded guards, the ever impressive scout, and Jacoby is playing on his tablet. Is that the scene that I'm painting here? Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And then Death and Carnage behind.
Right, yeah, of course, yeah. Flames, people screaming, my leg!
Everywhere.
The whole thing going on, yeah.
Dust is in the air. It's probably making it hard to breathe.
Yeah. No, Deanon walks up beside probably Jacoby, and he puts a hand sassily on the wall next to the 2 guards, and he says, "Now, gentlemen, what's going on here?"
You're saying this
to the 2 dumbfounded guards.
They just look dumbfounded at this point. I don't know. There was an explosion of some.
I've seen the explosion. It's currently on fire. I've seen it right there. There it is. Look at that. What happened? Who did this? Why are you here? Who are you?
We're the Gate Watch. Who are you?
What are you watching? Just the gate be flung open? Shouldn't you be saving literally anyone? You're a guard. Guards and people. There are so many people dying right there, just there.
Do you want to make a roll for this?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you trying to have them achieve? You trying to have them dumbfounded, or are you trying to have them just rush out?
I'm trying to have them just rush out.
Okay, cool.
So, so I'm not looking for any information here. I have skills in public speaking. All right, so I'm going to do an intellect roll, but I have a skill in public speaking. I have a skill in persuasion, which I'm hoping will knock it down by 2, whatever the difficulty is.
Yeah, without a doubt. So this is going to be, because these are trained soldiers and their orders are literally to defend the gate.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that this is also a difficulty 5.
Okay.
Because you're trying to convince someone to go against their training.
Right. So I'm going to knock it down with public speaking and persuasion to a difficulty
down
3.
To 3. Correct.
And then let's see what happens here. Intellect. Fuck yes.
Yeah.
The exact number. Yeah, he looks. There are people there, just there, dying. The people you're meant to guard. That's in the name, gate guard. You're only doing half the job. There they are.
You're right. And he immediately runs out, and one of them grabs the man and then starts pulling them into the gate. The other one immediately runs out and runs towards the rampaging beast.
Perfect. And he looks at Jacoby and says, well, my job's done. What's next?
At this point, I'm going to do a GM intrusion. Of course I am. The man who was now being dragged into the gate rolls over and then presses a button. A large explosion takes place. Anyone who's inside the gate is going to be caught in this blast.
Oh my.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Rip
Well,
depart. EPK.
GG Zora. Fucking.
This is what a season.
I have. Okay, so my question: in the split second that he rolls over, is this device electronic in any way?
I'm going to say yeah. I'm going to say that this isn't a thermal blaster. This is more of a discharge.
Okay, so I would like to talk the machine down. So I have two abilities. One is I'm trained with all tasks involving electrical machines. I assume this bomb counts as that. And distant activation. And I talk to machines. So I would like to persuade the machine not to explode. Basically, I'm using mental acuity and charisma to charm the bomb off this man.
I'm going to say that this is actually going to be really hard due to the fact of the split second nature.
Sure.
So I'm going to give this a 6.
You're charming the bomb?
I'm charming the bomb to not explode.
Yeah, this is happening right now.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Okay,
First episode. First episode.
So I'm going to use public speaking and persuasion again to charm this bomb down to a 4.
For the record, for anyone, he is literally someone who talks to machines.
Yeah.
So
I am a manipulative glint who talks to machines.
I feel like I can't say no at this point.
You are now my friend.
I need to roll a 12. God's willing. Fuck yes!
Nice.
The man hits the button, and as he does, I'm also giving you your intrusion in a second.
Right.
And as he hits the button, he hits the button, he looks up, and then continues to tap it as a couple of guards jump on him and grab onto his arm and just detain him at that point.
Yeah, he just looks and goes, no. You're welcome. And he turns to Jacoby again.
The bomb says...
The bomb did not want to explode today. It said it had already seen enough trauma, and it didn't want to explode. That's what it... We had a brief but powerful conversation.
What does the bomb say?
No.
Boom, 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 boom.
The fact that you are still in the voice is so much better.
That is so much better. Yeah. So the bomb didn't talk back because I'm assuming you're just like, whoa.
Yeah. I just look at it and say, no. That's it.
And then all you hear in your mind is, okay.
Perfect. Creepiest bomb noise ever.
It's a bomb.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Just bombing it up.
Oh, that's
bomber
true.
music.
That's true. Chat has reminded us that the way intrusions work is the person you intrude upon gets 1 XP, and they get to give 1 to someone else.
Okay, so who are you giving it to?
Zora gets to give 1 to somebody, and I get to give 1 to somebody.
I'll give 1 to Scout.
Wow.
I will give 1 to Jacoby.
Now, does that mean that they're now implemented in this?
No, that's just the benefit of accepting it. So I can either take I can take the intrusion and then take my XP immediately and go, no, you don't get to do that. Or if I accept it, I get to take my XP and give 1 away.
Okay.
That's the perks of taking the intrusion.
And our GM rule, or our house rule, is we can only have 4.
Correct.
Right. Yep. That's it. Yeah, so he just looks at Jacoby again and says, well, your turn.
Right. All right. So we have to go. Come on. Go. Come on. And I duck under the gate, and I try to make it through, and I step over the body.
Yeah.
I already walked this far.
At this point, the beast is just rampaging. What are you guys doing?
Is the gate still open?
Yeah, the gate has a closed.
Okay. I want to chuck a spear at it.
At the gate?
No, at the beast.
Okay, I thought these
Okay. I was like, why are you? What the gate did to you?
Well,
Little
no, I
aggression still.
didn't need to know if the gate was open because he's back a little bit because he had to jump off the gate to catch everything. Wait, is that dude? Oh, that dude's all captured and probably gonna die. So, I see the beast and I just like take the spear that's like on my back and just go. All right, and chuck it.
Just like that.
Right there. And then as I chuck it, I run after it, pulling out my mace.
Yeah. Can you give me the noise again so I can get the full? Awesome. Yeah. So go ahead and roll against it. It is going to be a 3.
And this is a might roll.
Correct.
Success.
Yeah.
Plus 2 damage.
Yep. So the spear flies through the air, catching the creature in just in between its neck and its shoulder blade. You hear it as it comes back down on the ground, and it now turns, and you can see its hoofs starting to scrape across the ground.
Like at me.
Yeah.
You see, you just see Scout, like, because he threw it and then he started running after it. I don't know how fast he is comparatively to whatever, but he just has this maul and it's like a bigger maul and he's like wielding it two-handed, just staring at it deadpan, and like sprinting at it currently. So it's like they're both charging at each other.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, and it takes off as well. How do you want to handle this? Because you're going to encounter it really quickly.
I figured someone has a time to react in between because I took this chuck in the spear.
As I see, he's like physically, really superior, and he's running maybe a little faster than me. And I shout to him, I say, "Go low!" And then I'm like, like maybe he's like slide on his knees or something. I'm gonna jump over him with my mace and bash the thing in the head with my special ability.
All right, and because the beast had the eyes on Scout, I'm gonna say that this would trip up the beast. So I'm gonna automatically drop the difficulty this to a 2. So go ahead and roll.
Okay. And I'm gonna use my XP just because I don't want to fail again. So how does that work?
The XP is used to make an advancement in a skill.
Oh, okay. I thought you could use it to like affect your roll. Okay.
You use the reroll.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a success.
Can reroll an XP?
You can reroll or stop a GM intrusion.
Oh, okay. That's a bash, so it does 1 less damage, but it dazes the target for 1 round, during which time the difficulty of all tasks it performs is modified 1 step to its detriment.
Cool. So the scene is Scout chucks the spear and then immediately starts running and hears in the back of his head, "Go low." And as he does, you leap over the back of him, mace in hand, full arch backwards. And as you do, you come crashing down on top of the beast's head. The beast's head smacks into the ground and you hear as it falls over to the ground lifeless.
Oh.
I mean,
it's permanently stunned.
He is permanent. You put it to sleep permanently.
Nice.
And then I guess at that note, I would like skid to a halt, like with my hammer out the maul, and like then stopping all of a sudden, and then putting it back on my side, and then taking the spear and then putting it back, and then and then you just see him like walk off and like start scrounging through parts and like seeing what he can salvage.
Yeah, and at this point, Jacoby, you see what appears to be a man in a hood. He's kind of standing down an alleyway. You're muted, by the way. He's kind of standing by down the alleyway. He's gazing out at the scene that's unfolding. You notice that he slowly starts to turn away and then turns a corner.
I'm muted still?
No, you're good now.
That was very weird. That's anything. All right, so he did what? Sorry, I was distracted.
Yeah, no problem. The man you can't see his face. He's kind of shrouded. He's cloaked over himself. He's watching the scene unfold, and he kind of just turns around and walks calmly away. The fact that he's walking calmly is what made him stick out to you in the first place.
Right. I go, Knights to me. And I follow the man and I go, hey, sir.
I will.
Excuse me. I'm talking to you.
He continues to walk and turns the corner. As you race off, though, Scout and Zora, you and I'm assuming D-Nice is now walking up as well. You guys notice that a man completely shaken, white, turns the corner, and he seems to have some type of strange weapon in his hand. It seems to have a long barrel at the end, and you can see a static jolt at the very tip. The bottom of it has a handle with a single piece of metal that curves this way, his finger resting on it. He turns the corner and looks at you guys and then gets incredibly scared, and he looks like he's trying to charge it up.
I just point at him and say, "Don't do it."
Yeah, this man is...
Hood?
I was saying, does he look like a soldier?
No, he looks like someone he has soot all over his face. His clothes are ripped up. There's blood on his chest.
It's not worth it, son.
And then I'm just going to stare at him blankly at the same time and just be like, stand down.
To be fair, can he tell if you're staring at him blankly?
This is blankly. This is what he looks like.
Fair. That's fair.
And I want to intimidate him to stop.
Okay. Yeah, go for it. I'm going to say because you're both doing this together, this will act as an aid. So I'll drop it by 1. So this is going to be a difficulty 4.
Okay. 4. And this is intellect?
Yes. Charisma is wrapped up in intellect.
I am trained in this one.
Okay. So that drops it by 1, right?
Yep.
Okay, so...
Give me a 3 for you.
All right, let's do it. Success.
Okay. The man just kind of stops. He points right next to him. My daughter, he says, and you can see the lifeless form of a young woman under a series of debris. The heavy rocks have fallen down on her at this point. Jacoby, as you turn the corner, you see the man climbing up on a set of scaffolding that hangs off of the building.
Okay. I am going to... I guess I'm going to run to Scout, probably because I've seen his resume, his portfolio, and I think that he'd probably be the one that could probably climb. So I'm going to run over and I'm going to say, Knight, you're needed. There's someone on foot running.
Yeah, so so you've ran after this guy, and then I'm assuming that you got to the corner but didn't follow him down. You just took a look. For you to run back with the way that this man is climbing up the side of the building at kind of unhuman-like speeds. If you were to turn back now, this man's probably going to get away.
Okay. I guess I will then try to climb.
Just Assassin's Creed it, myth.
I know. I might as well
jump back and forth between the buildings.
Hold one button and joystick towards the wall.
Yeah.
If only it was that easy these days. I'm going to then make my way back to the group and let them know of the person I saw.
Okay. So you make your way back to the group and you see the man winding up the gun, and you see Scout talk him down. D-Nice, what are you doing during all this?
At this point, as he's walking back, Deneen is walking towards the man with the gun, who looks shaken and looks like he probably just stumbled upon this gun and was going to shoot anyone he found. But he kind of walks up, and much the same way he walked up to the guards, he looks to the man, but with a little bit less sass in his voice, and a little bit more... like not condescension, but more like condolence, right? And he kind of walks up to the man and says, "Now, excuse me, my good sir, what happened? Were you a passenger on the train? Your daughter, she died in the explosion. Where did you find this?" And he like motions to the gun, and as he's motioning to the gun, he's reaching like towards as if to take it from him, from his shaking hands. What happened to you? What's going on here?
Yeah, he 100% seems timid and goes to pull it back. He's been talked down from shooting it, but this man is still like looking at his daughter's body and kind of pulling back.
Yes. He reaches towards it again, and he's like, "How can you carry her to safety? with this in your hands. Please let me help you. Let us all help you. And he motions to the rest of the, obviously the larger looking people around. Let us get back to safety, and we'll discuss what happened here. You can provide us with so much more information.
Yeah. So the man sees his daughter, and he's very broken about it. I'm going to say that because of your skill in this topic, this isn't going to require a roll.
Okay.
The man just kind of drops it on the ground. What kind of animal could do this?
Well, it wasn't that one. If that's what you're referencing. I believe it was a group of people. I would assume. Demolitions experts.
His hand just falls into his face. Just falls into his hand. You can hear sobbing coming from it.
I think at this point, when
and he reaches for the gun.
Yeah, I want to try to lift that boulder off.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
At least get him his daughter, and then still proceed to look for scrap.
Is she like pinned under rock?
Yeah, like all her body is. She's not alive, obviously, but
Oh, she's dead. Oh, okay.
yeah.
I misunderstood that.
Yeah. So, are you guys still trying to pick it up with that knowledge, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So all three of you are doing it?
No, Deneen picked up the gun. That rock looks heavy.
Cool. All right. So the two of you, which one? I guess either one of you can roll. But yeah, this is going to be difficulty 6. But with both of you doing it, I'll drop it by 1.
Okay. I'll let Zora handle this one.
All right.
Now, don't forget, you can reduce your might pool by 3 to drop that down to a 4.
Oh yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah,
But
you
keep
can
in
drop it
mind-
down by 1.
Your might pool is also part of your HP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I failed 2 other rolls. So I don't want to.
He's like, we ain't doing this again.
You don't want to pick it up and drop it back down on the already corpulent girl.
Did you spend the point to drop it?
Yeah.
You want to
cool.
spend your XP to reroll?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. There goes your XP.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, so you managed to pull it up, and I'm assuming Scout comes over and grabs the body and pulls the body out.
Sure.
The man runs over and starts sobbing on the woman's body. At this point, the gate opens again. At some point in time during this, the gate is closed, but it is now opened again, and you can see a series of soldiers making their way out, led by someone who is in a full white vestment. Jacoby, you turn the corner and you're now seeing everyone, and you can see this folding under your before your eyes.
In a full white vestment, you said?
Correct.
Do I recognize them as knight?
Yeah, this is probably a bishop.
Okay. I put the tablet away, and I approach, and I straighten my back a little bit, and I try to get my cool as he approaches, and try to give him some sort of I give them the respect as they approach.
Yeah. So what does a salute look like? I'm assuming you're talking about a salute. What does a salute look like?
What does a salute look like? It's
So, for example, we do this right in America, and that goes back to like ancient times with armor, where you would raise up your visor so they can see your face, right? So, if you don't want to come up with it now, we can come up with it later. I don't want to put you too much on the spot.
I mean, there's just so many. There's so many good ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you
for you.
Yeah. So you show respect where respect's due, and immediately he walks up and says, "Oh, what is going on here?"
It seems as if we have an explosion right off over there. But the gate was closed, so the guards wouldn't let us through. So,
do we know who's behind this? He's like looking over and surveying.
Not yet. I did see a gentleman run up the side of the building there, and I say run because he was climbing at pretty unnatural speeds.
As you say that, he looks over at the guards, and a group of guards breaks off, and then they go in that direction. At this point, behind them, you guys can see the man who is being detained is now ripping apart, and you notice that he has both of his legs now as they're dragging him away.
He has both of his legs now?
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. I didn't actually see any of that go down. I say, is that guy gonna be all right? I'll walk up to Deneen and Jacoby.
I'm sorry, which man? The crying?
The guy whose legs blown off.
Yeah, I saw him without legs, right? Because I helped the gate.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't know that he actually had a bomb. I thought he
Oh
was.
no,
like,
he's very much going to be in prison, or killed, or both, imprisoned and then killed, or reverse. I don't know. A tomb is like a prison, I guess.
Interrogated.
But I don't know that he's going to be interrogated. I think they might just kill him.
Dean, thank you.
Yes.
Yes,
I
thank
tried
you.
to save that
I just want
asshole's life.
Before anything happens here, I just want you to know that he did not have legs moments ago.
Right, but you did stab him with the stimulation thing.
yeah,
I don't know what you're
and I
talking about.
regret it. I thought I was trying to help, but if he's
Is that how med pens work in this? You just regrow limbs with them? No.
nobody
Do I
knows
know?
how any of this stuff works, do they?
Does Jacoby know that?
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
I assumed it was a leg regrowing pen that you stabbed him with. I don't know what it was.
I wasn't sure myself. I was just acting in the heat of the moment.
This makes me slightly warmer when it's uncomfortably cold out, so who knows what that could be. Unless he's a super mutant that regrows legs.
I think that's the case.
Zora. Ooh, sorry.
No, it's-
But
Zora, are you dressed in soldier garbs?
yeah,
Yeah, so you look like a soldier right now, right?
yeah, she's very proud of her soldiering.
You notice a man comes up and what are you standing around for? He appears to be probably a leader in some aspect.
I'm
Quiet, get back to work. And he points over at the fires that are starting to not spread, but they seem to be burning a building.
Does he have any kind of like rank insignia on him?
He does. On his left gauntlet, you see a V and a single I. There seems to be a line striked through them.
I'm actually not deployed right now, sir. I'm attached to a special unit.
He grumbles under his breath and then walks away at this point.
Hey, that worked. What was that saying? I as a player don't remember, but it was like the little motto that they greet each other with or whatever.
Something for the truth above all else.
Yeah, truth above all else. Good. Thank God you started that sentence, by the way.
It's the only thing I not cared to, but the only thing I was like, I must remember this part.
I thought I wrote it down, but I couldn't find it.
Funny, me too. So at this point, there are soldiers now combing the disaster zone. The man is being dragged away. The other person has escaped. You guys are free to do whatever you want now.
Oh, I've been over in the disaster zone, like lifting up like rubble and like trying to scrounge for parts. And I imagine like sometimes he would like find people and then he'd just be like,
You just find parts as a bonus action.
yeah. And he just shoots them away, and then he just like goes and is looking for red
He just
component.
inconveniently removes people. Get out of the way.
Yeah.
There could be vital parts where you were.
Right.
Deneen looks at Jacoby and says, did you want to tell your friends about the legs?
I did.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
I wasn't listening.
When I interrupted you, I told them.
I wasn't listening. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, I thought you were saying that to the party. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No, he wasn't.
Oh, okay.
I sent it to them.
I tuned you right out.
Okay. I feel like that's going to be a theme.
Oh, you're so funny. Ah.
Right. Come on. The people who are burning and probably dying. And then did the gate explode, or is there more of an explosion beyond the gate?
This probably took up about a city block outside of the gate.
Wow.
The gate is fine. Yeah, this was big.
Then I
Yeah.
passed the gate, or at least try to.
Yep. Scout, you find maybe about 50 shin.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. In various different coin sizes, but yeah. We'll keep it simple and keep it to shin.
Keep it simple.
So now you have like literally 50 shins. You don't know who they belong to at some point, but
I don't fucking care. They're mine
Belong to
now.
Scout now. He knows exactly who they belong to.
Bind them together. It could be a shin split.
Yeah.
I was making a macabre joke.
I
Damn
found
About
my
the
shin.
missing legs and the shins.
Yeah.
I got you.
You started moving forward, and As you guys do, are you looking for something in particular? Or are you just scanning the wreckage?
Scanning wreckage, looking for bodies, seeing any evidence. At least
salvageable parts.
Deanan is looking for anyone else to do this work for him.
There are a lot of people who are now gathering outside of the blast zone. As you're scavenging and you are looking for evidence, and you guys are kind of combing as well, you come to a part where there's a few guards now cumulated. It appears that everything around this one area has fallen backwards in a circular pattern. You can probably guess with your intelligence that this is where the center of the blast was. It's maybe about 300 feet away from the gates itself. It's dead center of the market.
Are there any tall buildings?
There are tons of tall buildings. In fact, seeing the sky is actually a struggle.
Okay. Deanan just wanders off, not used to being in groups at all, just sort of wanders off into the crowds of people. And as he's passing, he's basically he's not trying to convince them. He's just straight up telling them, there's burning people. We need to form a bucket brigade or something. You need to get over there, remove the rubble, do something, pitch in, your fellow men. This is rah-rah. And he's trying to do a rallying speech to get them. But as he's passing in the opposite direction, towards the closest very tall building.
Okay. Yeah. The higher you go, the faster the harder you fall, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So go ahead. We'll make this a roll. People are kind of like scared at this point.
Sure.
So I'm going to say that this is a difficulty 4.
Okay, so I'm going to use public speaking and persuasion to knock that down to a 2.
Yep.
And I'm going to give you a roll here. And I'm going to blow it out of the water. With a 13, and so he's just like he's Assassin's Creeding through the crowd, right? He's just like shoulder on. Oh, you strong lad, go lift things. You woman with a bucket, how did you get this bucket? Fill it with water. Go. And he's like just shooing people by as he passes through the crowd. Like I said, making his way to the base of one of the tall buildings before he attempts to talk his way into the building.
Okay, cool. So as you're doing this, people are here, yeah, and then they start dispersing. You actually see, as they're dispersing, a few strange creature, or not strange to you because you live here, but to everyone else, it's strange. The creatures have long necks, and their face comes to a point at the end. You can see what looks like a set of lips holding something in as the cheeks are bellowed out. You see people who are dressed in bright yellow riding them, and the creatures stand on 2 legs, their hands pulled back close to their body, and as they get close, their mouth leans back as you see the guy on their back aiming the head. He kicks the side and the cheeks start to go in, and as they do, water bursts out onto the flames itself.
8.
Firebirds. Anyway, so what's everyone else doing during this?
I'm looking at the explosion site.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a body there?
No. It's actually for the first maybe about 100 feet. Any material or any natural matter has probably been evaporated at this point, just from the sheer size of the blast.
Would I know what would have been the ignition or fuel source of the explosion?
The accelerant.
Yeah.
The catalyst.
So that's a good question. How much experience do you have with explosions and things of the nature?
I mean, sometimes if you push the wrong button in the ruins, it short circuits and it could cause an explosion. Or sometimes you have to burn certain materials to stay warm during the cold night that you don't have the fuel. Right.
I'll tell you what. I don't know if this is a thing, but we're going to make you make an intelligence roll for this.
Okay. Difficulty?
I want to say probably a 4.
Okay, 4.
Do you have anything to drop it?
No.
Okay.
Balls to the wall, man.
Yeah. So as you think about it, you've come across substance that have been left from the old worlds. You know of a gel-like material that is used for accelerants. In fact, you've seen a couple of scavengers who have able to get a few drops of it to rub cloth on it to use that as an actual fire starter.
Okay. Do I know the name of the gel?
They just call it boom gel.
Okay. I would look over at Jacoby and be like, you, the one they call leader.
Yes.
It looks like this was made by Boom Gel.
Boom gel.
Boom Gel. Boom, boom, boom.
Type it down in his
I'm just going to start having you repeat words that sound good.
boom gel. Okay.
Lots of Boom Gel.
Lots of it. Okay, great. Thank you. This is productive.
All right. Yeah, so are you guys doing anything else here? Is there anything else you guys want to investigate?
There's no bodies, it's just the
The blast was so massive.
Okay.
Is there any like emergency personnel tending to people that were injured?
There are now guards moving their way, and you do notice that the fire brigade has made their way here. Other than that, you do see D-Nice making their way to a skyscraper.
I guess I would say that to Jacoby and Scat. Say, well, whatever we're gonna do, it looks like our friend is already on the move.
Nice. Yes.
And guess I will go follow him.
Okay. You guys make your way to D-Nice. You make your way to the base of the skyscraper.
I can't. That's just your name now, man.
I just love that Jacoby's the antithesis of Deneen. He's like, yeah, no, he's moving. There he goes. Off again. So I'm at the base of the skyscraper, yes.
So as you make your way, you notice that there are a few guards at the base of this building. They are not order guards. These seem to be hired guards. Mercenaries, you'd probably guess. And in fact, you see on the left breastplate of one of the guards, who only has the left breastplate that kind of leads to a leather strap that wraps around. His right fist is a gauntlet that has spikes on the knuckles. And you notice that his hair is tied into a top knot at the very top, and he has a scar coming across his whole face from the top left to the bottom right. He puts a hand up in front of you. Hold it there. Name and purpose.
Hold on. This is a whole new process to me. Just give me 1 second. It's in one of the beautiful folds of this scarf or this one. Oh yes, here it is. Lapel pins. And he holds out the badge. I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but I assure you, if you look on the back, it says "Property of." This is an Order of Truth insignia for the newly founded Knights of Truth. I have no interest in anything that is inside your building. I don't care what you're doing or what you're guarding here. Could you please just escort me or find a lackey or anyone, a janitor, whatever it is perhaps, and lead me to the top? I just need to access the roof and look down on the giant... I don't know if you saw this, but about 10 minutes ago there was a massive explosion just right there. I'd like to see an aerial view of the explosion to see... Make sure no one else is going to explode. A domino effect of buildings. This one could be the first one. Who knows? Just if you could please just doop, doop, up top, please.
He kind of crosses his arms in front of him. The Order has no power here.
No, that's fine. I don't actually care about that. I just want to get to the roof. It's just a favor that I'm asking you. You could bring anyone. I don't care what you're doing in this building. It was literally just the closest one to me. Just to the top.
He looks over at the guards on either side of him, and they step forward, and it looks like they're about to grab both of your, or one's about to grab the left and one's about to grab the right and escort you away.
This is just inappropriate. I don't want any form of touching. It's just far easier if you let me up there, because the rest of my friends will come, and I have a giant gun on my back. Anyway, the rest of them...
I'm glad you realized that.
He slips that in there. He says, but the rest of them will be far more aggressive than I will, and they'll force their way in, and at least 1, 2, 3 of you will die. At least 3, most likely. So if you could just... This is just the easiest, best way, most painless, if you could. At least just right
Make
to
a roll.
the top. Okay?
I'm going to say because he is paid and this particular group is incredibly loyal,
Yeah.
I'm going to say that this is going to be a difficulty really high.
Okay.
I'm going to say 7.
Okay. I'm going to use intimidation because I mentioned that gun.
Yep.
Public speaking.
By the way, the gun was the reason they turned you away.
Yeah, I figured.
You're just walking in with
just
with a
casual.
rifle in your back.
Intimidation, public speaking to bring that down to a 5. And I'm going to spend 2 of my intellect because I have 1 edge to bring that down to a 4.
Okay.
So I'm gonna spend 1 effort on this guy, and I think that's it. Does the weapon count as an asset in intimidation?
I'm gonna say in this particular moment, no, because that's what's got you turned away.
Cool. So yeah, this is gonna be a 4.
Okay. There you
Fucking
go.
yes.
Yeah. I mean, you spent points for it. You might as well pass.
Right. I hope so.
Look, we don't want trouble. Just you and you alone.
Yeah, no, I'm just the only one here. There's no one actually here.
And that, he says as he points to the weapon on your back, stays here.
That depends. Now, do I get it back?
Depends on what you do up there.
Just look.
Then yes.
Oh, well, then perfect. If the other 3 come, just let them on the roof. It's not a big deal. I'll be right back. Thank you.
Okay.
And he takes it off and hands it to the guy with the scar on his face.
Okay. I'm assuming that at this point the 3 of you are approaching.
Yes, but in that time,
Sorry.
Yes.
in that time, I want to take out. I'm going to use the first cipher of the game. I'm going to take out the fireproofing spray that I have and spray it all over my bod. It's bod spray. I am going to
Like Axe.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
Hot God.
and I'm going to spray it over myself. I have armor. I have armor of 6 against fire for 28 hours.
Okay. So that means anything that would deal under 6 just doesn't affect you, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So I'm just going to use that because I'm worried that it may happen again. If this is a planned attack, it could happen again. Also, with that weird guy who ran up the wall means that it's probably not an accident. So
Somebody ran up a wall? I see.
yes. I did not tell you guys that. I did tell the guards that, so you guys probably are questioning, wait, what? But yeah, I explained that I pursued a man who looked very confident, and then as he went around the corner, he climbed up a wall like a spider.
That's certainly suspicious.
So is he a Spider-Man?
He was an arachnid guy. Yes.
Iraqi in nature.
Yes. Arachnid in nature. And yeah, I mentioned that, and I just spray myself, and then I approach, I guess.
Okay. The man holds up and says, "No one enters. Business is closed for the day."
Our associate just entered.
They shake their heads no.
We just saw him.
No one has come in here.
I just stare at him.
They're literally holding my gun.
I just stare at him, and I was like, I saw it when he got that gun. Lie to me again. And I want to intimidate.
All right, go for it.
What's the difficulty on this one?
It's going to be the same. It's going to be a 7.
A 7. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my first failure.
Yeah. Due to the failure, the man presses a button on the left side of his breastplate. It's kind of tucked in, and you can hear a faint. And at this point, you see 4 more people kind of making their way down the stairs, and the doors behind them, and walking forward.
I don't think we want that kind of trouble.
Business is closed for the day.
Well, from what little we know of Deneen already, he seems just as capable of getting out of trouble as into it.
I do wish to inform you that we are a part of the Order of Truth. And I pull out an insignia from the cardigan.
He looks over the insignia and says, "Aye, but the order isn't here."
Aye, we are. Above all else. And I try to intimidate.
All right, go for it. This is going to be at an 8 now because the added guards have given him.
This is escalating quickly.
Right.
I mean, he did get the backup, right? This makes sense, right? I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure I'm not unfairly putting numbers up.
So a 24. is my target.
Unless you want to spend points to drop it.
Because I'm not good at math. So that was mainly for me going, did I do my math right? Yeah. I will spend some, maybe might here?
I'm going to let you drop it, assuming that the both of you, Zora is standing there as well in full guard, and Scout is cracking his knuckles. I'll say I'll let you drop it by 1 for each of them. I'll count them as assets.
Okay, cool. So that's a 2. So it's now a 6, which is still very hard.
A 5.
You said it was 8?
Yeah, because they're 2, right? So 1 for Scout, 1 for Zora. From a 7, that would bring it to a 5.
Right. I thought it was.
Oh, wait, I did say 8. I'm sorry, 6.
Yeah, it's a 6.
Yeah,
and then. Yeah, that's all. Let's just see what happens. I'll probably end up using an XP reroll. What am I rolling? Might or intel here?
You tell me.
Cool. I'm gonna use intel. I'm gonna knock it down a bit as well. I'm knocking it down by 3. Is that how it is? Cool.
Yeah.
Knocked it down by 3, so now it's a 5. Hiya! Nice. Take that.
At this point, he also sees Zora, and he sees Scout. You don't have the badge on you, right? Because it wasn't yours. You were trying to scalp the.
Yeah.
Correct. So it's not visible or anything. It's probably like in a pack or something, right?
No, but I take out my arms and I start cracking my knuckles. Yeah. So like it's very much, you can see like my muscles right now as I'm like cracking.
Yeah, and then I'm assuming there's some type of like matrix when you flex. Yeah. At this point, the guards are actually also combing the area. Fine, just go. There's more trouble than it's worth. And he's starting to stand to sides and allows the 3 of you up. D-Nice, you move into a cylinder. The cylinder, there are no stairs leading upwards, but there is a cylinder in the center of this building. You notice a single metal plate on the bottom, and you can hear a faint humming coming from underneath it. As you walk into the cylinder, the glass closes in front of you, and you can see written in the glass itself what appears to be buttons in a language that you've never seen before. There seems to be 27 of these buttons.
Okay. He looks around at the machine, and kind of the whole thing's glass, right? Even like the ceiling.
Yeah. Really walk up in here.
Perfect. He, for sake of constant coolness, he leans against the circular glass tube and looks around, and then says, "Up." And with distant activation, I'm going to activate the topmost button.
Okay. Just as you go to press the topmost button, you see your friends meeting up with the guards in the front, and almost instantly you get this gut-wrenching feeling in your gut or in your stomach that drops it to the ground, and you close your eyes for merely a second. As you open, the doors are opening up, and the fresh air from the outside is wafting in. You are now on top of the building.
And he goes, "I'm never getting that gun back. Damn it." Okay, well, what does the rooftop look like? Is there anything special about this place?
You notice that there is a small path that you can move, but most of the roof has collapsed in. As most of the buildings in the city themselves, these are actually ruins from a past civilization.
Dope. Okay.
So as you're trying to walk across this alley, this pathway is going to take a lot of work. You see what appears to be 3 or 4 orbs that are kind of just floating in midair. They're letting off a humming noise, and you can visibly see it sucking something into the top of it, and then it goes into a bunch of lines on the bottom that separate out through the building.
What? Okay. Dope. That sounds really cool. Yeah, he's going to carefully walk across this platform to as close enough as he feels safe to the edge of the building, so he can get a better view towards the explosion. Right.
Yeah. So you're making your way forward, and every step that you take, you hear Like how I'm doing that?
That's really good. That's really good. That was clever.
The scaffolding that you're walking, I'm calling it scaffolding for the lack of a better word, starts to bend slightly under your not much weight, but there's still weight to you. And you grab onto the handlebar, and the handlebar literally just falls. And as it falls, it kind of just drops down into the darkness. And every so often you hear ting, ting, and maybe about 30 seconds later you hear do, 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 do. And as it does, a series of winged-like creatures escape from the hole underneath you, rushing around you, flying upwards, trying to get out. And as they do, it throws off of your balance. You feel like you're tipping to one side, and you can see these creatures. Their bodies have metal-like structures on the outside of the wing. Underneath it, you see a blue transparent light that kind of curves up multiple times, stretching to their metal-like body. A screeching noise that can be heard coming from them as they bounces off of one another. What are you going to do to stop from falling?
How sturdy is the structure that I'm on? This like scaffolding beam?
Yeah, did you ever play Break the Ice?
Yeah. Good.
That.
Dope. Okay, cool. Man, I can't talk a building off a building. I'm not great at anything but talking.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, huh?
I am. Yeah, I could probably talk the bird and just bring me over there, I think.
Pigeon man you.
Yeah, just carry me. Like Hawkman gets.
I was thinking more Mary Poppins, but.
Yeah, that too. That too.
The new one or the old one?
Either one. Shit. None of my items are useful for this. Literally none of them. I just
Do you want me to come back to you?
I have amazing pants, and that's about it.
They are pretty amazing.
I think so. What's around me? Like, is it just like this scaffolding beam that I'm on, and then just like nothing?
Yeah, you notice that there is some type of metal off in the distance around the edges, but it appears that most of the roof has actually fallen in. Anything that you would try to get to would have to be a jump.
Shit. Okay. Yikes. Yeah. Okay. Then I'll take a leap of faith. Here, I'm going to leap for like whatever is the most like structurally sound, preferably part of the beam that I'm on, and then basically just like belly flop onto it and hold on. Right. Like I don't want to be up in the air. I want to be like as low as possible, crawling across this thing.
Okay, give me a roll. I'm not going to tell you the difficulty.
Sure. I don't have anything that can bring this down. I'm going to spend 3 speed and bringing down whatever difficulty it is by 1, and I'm going to roll you some speed here.
Okay.
I rolled a 9.
You leap up into the air, and at this point, the scaffolding just kind of collapses underneath you. A loud banging noise can be heard. Literally moments before, if you would have stayed there any longer, it would have collapsed. And as you're reaching in midair, down in the basement, or down in the first floor, you guys see almost instantly appearing with incredible speed. You see a disc connected to a glass tube that just kind of comes back into the center of this building. What do the 3 of you guys do?
You fucker.
I know.
I'm walking up to the thing that just floated down with like enthusiasm, and I'm like looking at it all over, and I'm like, and I would go in and investigate it.
Yeah.
A lift of some sort.
I'm going to assume anyone who is native to the city would probably understand the concept of it. Maybe not this particular structure, but the actual concept of it was probably not far-fetched.
Did we see Deneen get into it when we were standing outside?
I'm going to say you did.
Sure. I say, careful, it might be a disintegration chamber.
In the middle of the...
Who knows? Maybe that's why they're so secretive about letting people in here. This could be a disintegration center.
I do like enthusiasm, but I think it's a lift. I think we saw, at least I did. I saw
a lift.
I saw Dean go up it when we were here moments ago.
And I look up and I'm like bewildered by this, but if you say so.
I assure you. I'll go first, but you're going to be left alone.
I'm already inside of it. I'm like,
yeah.
No, I'll go.
Okay.
I trust them.
Yeah. So before you, as soon as you guys step in fact, after Zora does, the glass immediately goes whoosh, and you can feel a change in the pressure of the air around. In front of you, a light flickers on, and you see 27 buttons, all in strange language that you've never seen before.
Can I use my decipher skill?
Your code, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So correct me, answer me this, riddle me this, Batman. It still requires a roll, right? It reduces the skill.
Hold on, I have to find a decipher skill real quick.
Okay, so for right now, I'm gonna say give me an intelligence roll.
It takes a roll, but I spend 1 intelligence and I take a minute, and I think it's a difficulty 3 if I remember correctly. And I understand what language it is. I just can get the gist of what it's supposed to mean.
Okay, so go ahead and make me intelligence roll then.
Okay.
Use your intelligence point.
I did. All right. No. I'll spend my XP to re-roll that.
Okay.
Because I want to look cool.
I feel you.
There we go.
Yeah, this is clearly a number-like system. You can tell that after 9 or after the 9th one, it seems to repeat the first digit. And then once it gets to the 20th button, it repeats the 2nd digit and it continues to count upwards. You could probably guess that the button at the top would be the number that takes you to the top. As soon as you press it, all of you, without any warning, you're probably all looking around. You just,
I'm sorry, that one.
For those of you who didn't blink, you see metal scaffolding start to, just a metal bar start to fall, and you hear clink, 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 clink. As you come up, you see in midair what appears to be D-Nice leaping off of a scaffolding as it's starting to crumble to the ground. What do you guys do?
He's in the air as we come up.
His foot just left, maybe about an inch off the ground. There's no stopping him from leaping, but he's leapt.
I'm going to take my shield and spray my gravity spray on it and whiz it out towards his foot to give him something to jump, like, brace himself or hang on to.
I was hoping you were going to do that because I had no other way out of this.
That's fucking dope.
You notice, D-Nice, with your roll, it was a difficulty 4. And just as you are reaching out, you're about maybe a foot too short, and then you feel yourself become light as a feather, and that extra foot, you're able to just move forward and grab onto a piece of metal that seems sturdy. Your body swings into the ground. I'm going to add a intrusion here.
But as he does it, though, if he looks over and say, "We're part of a team."
The intrusion is going to be, I like this. The intrusion is going to be that if you continue to hold on to this, you'll hold on and you'll be fine. However, the way that your body is swinging, your pants are clearly going to get ripped in half.
Oh no!
Oh, not my fancy
pants!
Oh,
if you let go, you notice that about 3 feet down, the foundation is exposed, and you'll land on that, but you're going to take a damage doing so.
Oh no! Where's the floating shield? Where's the Captain America situation? What's that doing?
You already got to the point. That was the floating.
Yeah, but where is it? He threw it. So where is it?
No, he sprayed it on you as you passed by.
He sprayed it on his shield and threw the shield.
Oh, you can't. Oh, okay.
He Captain America that shit.
It's on a non-living object.
I'm gonna say that. You know what? I'm gonna say that it's actually down on that platform.
You would too.
I know.
What am I gonna do without my fancy pants?
We can get you new pants.
They do keep me slightly cold.
Warm?
No, they keep me slightly cold. There's always a slight chill in the air with those pants around. Yeah. So it gives me a great ass, but it leads to shrinkage. So I mean, it's a mixed bag. So if I continue to hold on, my pants will rip. Okay. What if I try to? What am I holding on to? Am I holding onto a piece of metal?
Yeah, we're just gonna say a piece of the metal that's securely locked on, but
okay. Man.
Question.
This is the moral crux of the issue, right? I can't lose my
The
pants.
pants are your life.
I told you guys
They're
before.
just pants, Denies.
I told you guys before.
This is a hard
I'm gonna
moral
make you make
situation.
hard moral choices.
Can I
Don't throw
attempt
your life away.
to use one of my several dozen Aerosmith scars to rip off and pull myself up, like whip it around something and pull myself onto the top of the platform?
I'm gonna say that if you do, it's gonna lock you into speed.
Okay,
Or
done.
ju-
Yeah, done. Speed's done.
I feel like there's could be no other option
Yeah.
for that.
Okay.
I don't know if I have that ability, but I'm doing it.
Yeah, no, you can totally. It totally makes sense.
You are the game master.
2, 3. I'm gonna spend effort.
Yeah.
And what's the difficulty?
I'm gonna say that it is a difficulty 5.
I'm gonna spend 3 speed to make a difficulty 4.
Because I don't imagine you just have these things hanging in a holster.
No,
Okay.
they're just on me.
Yeah.
They're just on me. Like I am. Yeah.
If they're yeah, I forgot it. So I'll say it's a 4.
Okay, so I'm gonna spend 3 speed to make it a 3,
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna hope for the fucking best. Come on, big money. No, I'm spending an XP. Get wrecked. No, it's even worse. Shit.
You also have to give your XP out.
Oh, that's right. I get another XP. I'll give it to Zora for that dope chill move.
Thanks, man.
You know what? Fuck it. It's episode 1. I have 2 XP. I spent 1. I'm gonna spend the other one. Let's see
Can
what
you spend
happens.
more than 1 on a single roll?
I don't know any rule that you can't. I could
Fuck
be,
it, we're doing
I
it
could
now.
be wrong, but
We're doing it now.
Breaking new
fucking
ground.
yes!
What's the fancy man doing?
I'm saving my pants.
I think he wants to salvage his pants.
He immediately grabs the fabric, the sheer fabric, launches it
Chiffon
around
scarf.
and swings down. And as you do, you're able to use your feet to take the impact as opposed to scraping across the wreckage. The rest of you guys now see this. What do you guys do?
You just hear, nailed it.
Can we see him?
Yeah. You watch this whole thing. You guys are standing in the in that glass platform.
Did you find what you were looking for?
No, everything collapsed. You see where there's a space where I was and you are? I was trying to
I
go
see
and the
that.
whole thing fell down.
He shouts while hanging, supporting his own body weight.
Why
Sheer
are we
scarf.
here?
Aerial view of the explosion. Make the most sense to me.
Oh.
Out of character question. Wasn't there some kind of like metallic entities flying up there or something?
Oh, they're gone now. They're
Oh,
They
okay.
flew
Yeah,
out
yeah.
like bats out of a cave.
Oh, okay. I thought they were like attacking you or something.
Jacoby, you're also really low, by the way, in case you didn't know.
My volume?
You're back.
Yeah.
You're good.
You're
I thought
okay.
he was just a mellow dude.
I wonder
First time
why
I ever
it's
gamed with him.
happening. I don't know what's going on. I didn't do anything. It's just being weird.
All right. Anyway, so what are you guys going to attempt to help him in any way? You guys going to attempt to try to find a way across the side?
I'll let someone else think.
I'm not 100% visualizing it.
Okay. So in front of you, the building itself is cylinder in shape,
Okay.
very massive, tall. You're about 27 flights up. Around the edges of the building, you can see on both sides, almost completely around, you can see points where the foundation is showing, but all in the center now is just a hole leading to a black bottomless pit in front of you. Not
okay.
bottomless, 27 flights, but you get the idea.
And he's like on the other side of it.
Correct.
And how far is the gap between him and us? I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say, Mike, what's your bite?
What's my might?
Yeah.
8. 8 total.
It's about 8 feet. He was able to jump.
Oh, that's not that far. Well, I have a rope in my explorer's pack. I could try to throw to him.
Okay.
So, do you think you can grab this? I know you're not that physical.
I can grab it.
All right, then we're just gonna pull you over. You might slam into that wall down there because of the.
Would prefer not to, but I mean, if that's the only way up, I'll take it. And he reaches out.
I kind of look down the pit and say, "Well, there's that way."
For the sake of time, I'm gonna say that he's able to grab it, hold on to it, because we don't have much time left.
Sure.
And you're able to swing back. Now you're holding him. I'm assuming Scout or Jacoby is in fact helping.
Sure.
And you're holding him and supporting his weight on the rope below you. Keep in mind though, for as of right now, he was not able to catch the shield.
That's fine.
I'm still not sure.
It's just still floating there.
You threw the shield, but sprayed anti-gravity spray on it.
Correct.
You have to spray it on a
doesn't
non-living object, so I was trying to like give him a foot.
It stays at like one level, yeah.
Oh, does it? I assumed it just like feather fall, right?
No, it just stays where it.
Okay.
Like there's a range where it can go up to, but it it sets at that spot.
So I'll say maybe about 4 feet out in the middle of the 8 feet is where it actually caught the bottom of the foot to give him the foot. I apologize.
That's cool.
Floating shield. Okay.
A shield is not as valuable as somebody's life.
So
Right.
I'm back up on the glass elevator side or on the intended side?
Yeah. You're hanging maybe about, I will say 8 feet.
Yeah, we'll
because
just
the rope you would have swung. Let's not get too tied up in the numbers.
Yeah. So he pulls. He gets back up there and he looks at everyone and he says, "Well, see what happened was I was walking across and then an explosion of avian creatures just surrounded me and the ground beneath me fell. And I knew that you would be here just in time to save me. After all, as you said, we are a team. And I made a leap of faith and I hoped for the best. The best happened, at least the second best happened. I didn't die and I almost made it across. But the edge is where I'm trying to go to see an aerial view of the explosion. I feel like that's the best way to.
Well, then we should get you over there to check that out.
I know.
Yes, you said my name.
No, I meant the
physical act,
the act of
verb.
scouting.
Reconnaissance.
Reconnaissance.
Okay,
Yes.
and
Is your name a verb? Is it like a verb type name, or is that what you do?
Is it a title
Sure.
or a name?
But a name.
Okay,
Okay.
just clarify.
And then he says name, and then he goes to jump on the shield and jump up to the other thing.
Perfect.
He's good.
Just with no like qualm at all. He's just like ding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only 4 feet, so this will be a difficulty 2, which I think you can just do at that point, right?
Yeah. I have a might of 17.
Plus, I think you're trained in like something dumb like jumping.
Yes, trained in jumping.
No.
That's a thing. Like you'd be trained in
I'm
jumping.
not trained in jumping, but
I am.
See,
that
I
actually
told
a
you
thing?
it's a thing you can be trained in.
That's great.
Yep.
so do you want me to roll it?
Yeah, we'll say this too. No, you're not going to have to roll. Because you and Zor are the ability to get across, I'm going to say that all of you guys can get across without an issue. I could say between them helping you, et cetera, et cetera.
I can throw it in ice.
As an assassin, I'm assuming Jacoby can jump as well.
Yes.
He's actually trained in jumping.
Yeah.
It's weird because, like, as players, we just like Jacoby's just kind of like the quiet, nerdy guy, but he's probably like the most deadly of all of us.
That's literally the point.
Yeah.
He's just covered in blades. Like his armor is actually blades. The tablet, blades. It unfolds into a fan of blades.
And then the blade folds out, and there's a mono blade.
All right, so you guys get to the other side. You're now standing. You have about maybe 9 or 10 inches before it falls off into the pit from where you guys are standing now. So moving around to get past each other is going to be a difficult thing.
I was just trying to help Deneen get over there to do what he was going to do, so. Show him.
Well, I assumed whatever you guys are doing out there was very important, but we should see the blast area, right?
You split away from us
Makes sense.
Yes.
during an assault and a pursuit. Of course, we could find you.
Well, I mean, there was no assault or pursuit from where I was standing, but you guys were mostly talking about fires and helping everyone and lots of physical things. And anyway, just.
Okay, yeah, what do you see?
And he does this and looks out the side of because he has no binoculars.
Do you have bionic eyes?
I do not. No.
How?
Do you?
Do you?
No.
You have genetically perfect eyes. You genetically perfect
Son
man.
Son of a bitch.
Thing.
I get this a lot.
It's just
Before I was called Scout, I was called Adonis, and I don't know what that means either. No, do you have some kind of ocular device, or?
Actually, let me look at my equipment real quick.
I mean, you guys all seemed very busy
While-
down there, so I assumed coming up here would be a great choice.
Sure.
And while you guys are going through your
Seeking
inventory
the truth.
research, before all of you, you see the city in ways that you probably have never seen it before. You see you can see as far as the horizon itself, and even you can see the haze that surrounds the city, the greenish yellow haze. You see massive blimps held with helium and air that kind of just float and slowly dock at a large metal spire. You see the light rail bouncing around through the city, off of walls and curving around them through tunnels and leading out of the city as fast as the eye can see. You can barely make out the animals, the red and green animals used to taxi people around the city. The shanty town to the right, made out of fabrics and metals. The upper side, where people are living inside of ruins of old civilizations. But dead in the center, you guys see a circular wave that kind of drifted out from the center that takes up a small block. It seemed to be exactly where the market district once was.
Well, my guess is they chose that spot just for maximum public disruption. Doesn't appear to be any sort of tactical location.
I'm not clear why they blew that up or why they're blowing stuff up.
To cause strife.
Why cause strife?
Do we know it was I forget the name of the people to the north?
The Gaians.
Yeah. That were the perpetrators, Bob?
I'm sorry, say again?
Do we know that do we think or know that it was the Gaians who were the perpetrators of that?
I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, okay. I didn't know. So we don't know for sure.
That's for you to tell me.
Okay. Well, if it was the Gaians, I mean, we've been at war for some time. It would not be unlikely for them to commit this act of terrorism, simply to disrupt the normal flow of life. That's what terrorists do.
Zora, how long did you spend on the front lines?
I'd say most of her career.
Okay. Go ahead and... I don't like telling you what to roll, but I feel like this is a good time to do so. Go ahead and give me an intelligence.
All right. Just roll it.
Yeah. In all of your years, you have never seen them use anything close to an explosion.
Okay.
A lot of the times they're usually using natural weaponry, things that they find. In fact, one of the things that they use most of all are small beads that grow off the side of a plant that they put inside of a projectile that uses a stretchy-like material with a patch at the end. And by flicking it into someone, it can cause it to move at lightning-fast speeds.
Okay, then I will retro that and say, well, if it was the Gaians, then they've certainly changed their tactics. They not usually use this sort of ordinance.
They're typically like shamans, and they eat trees or sleep inside dirt huts or something like that, right?
Correct.
Well, boom gel's not natural.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Boom gel.
Oh,
Boom, boom, boom.
and that is a styling product.
If you're
If that explosion is a styling product, then yes, boom, boom, boom. Boom gel.
Oh, you said that it's not a name brand. It's
It's off-brand.
right.
Yeah. You can find it on the bottom of the shelf.
So what else, from up here, what else exploded, right? It's the market district and what?
That's it.
That's it. Just an inconvenient source of monetary value. Okay. Yeah, I guess he looks to, so from the edge of this the edge of this building, he looks back to Jacoby and says, I just talk to people usually and they do what I want. I don't typically deal with whatever this is about to be, and I feel like you were put in charge for a reason. What, I'm not sure, but I feel like it's this. And he points to the explosion.
It could have been a distraction too.
That was going to be my follow-up, is that sometimes, a merchant doesn't want you to buy these wares. He wants you to buy these wares,
Yes.
but he focuses on this and raises the price on this.
Right.
But this price is still normal or maybe a little bit higher.
Right.
But what would they want you not to focus on?
You mean very similar to a man who regrows his legs and has an active bomb strapped to his chest being brought inside the temple of the Order of the Truth?
Well, I think he was going to blow up.
Jacoby turns and runs to the tube.
Yeah, I just told the bomb not to explode that one time. It could probably do it again if it wanted to.
Well, he was,
Control its will.
Still making my way.
Unless they disarmed the bomb.
I didn't. I just said stop, and it did.
They might have disarmed it.
yeah, I mean, they detained him.
I think he would have blown up by now.
End of episode.
As if on cue.
Well,
Now that you mention, no.
nothing to see here, I guess. There is no like pattern to this explosion, right? Like it exploded and then like it's not like multiple explosion points from here. It's like one central and then like a shitload of outward burst.
You know, sorry, I'm going to retcon this a little bit
Okay,
too.
go for it.
What you see, not only is it the circular pattern, but that circular pattern only goes about maybe 100 to 200 feet. Out of it, you see straight blasts of line that then branch out as if somebody was playing the game Snake. They come from the center and they lurch out and then they branch in this direction. They'll branch in this direction and then they'll come out this way and then branch in this direction. Almost as if somebody was writing a grid. Bomberman.
Also, as if Bomberman was doing.
I may have been watching earlier today.
Yeah, he points that out to Scout and says, "Does Boom Boom Gel do that?"
Does it do that?
I don't think it does it.
I'm sorry, does it do that?
The blast, the heat, and everything else that you've seen when you saw the explosion definitely was Boom Boom Gel. I don't know why I'm calling it Boom Boom Gel now, but definitely was Boom Boom Gel. The pattern that was left and the wreckage afterwards doesn't make sense. Now, at least not to you as far as Boom Boom Gel is concerned.
Well, the wreckage and all the after bits doesn't match up to what Boom Boom Gel normally does.
I'm so glad everyone's calling it Boom Boom Gel now.
Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom. It just goes boom, boom, boom. It doesn't go neat, 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 neat.
Right. Yes, I assumed it didn't make
Also,
those sounds.
need Joe.
Right. Yes,
Yeah.
of course, the knee gel.
No, but neat, neat, neat gel is more expensive, and they might not be going for more expensive. They just want boom, boom gel.
I
You
don't
know?
Right.
think.
Where would people get this boom gel?
Need gel, but then they've of course cut it because
Okay. Listen, I'm not in charge of this shit show, but it appears as though we need to find someone who knows what to get, manufacture, make, create whatever Boom Boom Gel purchase, not the marketplace, and
we need on the order first.
the knee
of the
gel,
man.
and the man. As you were saying, I interrupted you.
I think we need to warn the order of that man.
Yes, perhaps he's covered in the Boom Boom Gel or the knee gel. For all I know, I don't. At this point,
I've lost track of what we're talking about, but I also think that if
I
he
know.
is to travel the way that this is traveling, who is to say that? I mean, the man that I saw scale a building moments ago, who's to say he is not one of those? And I
scale the building.
Yes, I saw a man scale a building,
Okay.
but who's to say he's not one of these? And I kind of draw with my finger the area of this, like, I guess the distance traveled of this new explosive that we see off of the original explosion.
Yes, perhaps they tunneled, like Molman, and
Perhaps
burst out of the ground and climbed
an
buildings.
introduction of a new creature. I don't know, but we have to go.
Yes.
Yes.
At this point, as he says we have to go, a series of ringing comes out of the speakers surrounding the city. A burst of sound can be heard throughout the entire city. You know this sound to be a public gathering. Someone is going to speak in public.
That seems unwise.
Yep.
Should we head down or wait for the announcement?
I think we should head down. It seemed like Jacoby's intention was.
That's where my gun is. Great.
Maybe
And-
this
and
is
your
what
gun.
the distraction was supposed to cause,
Perhaps.
but I don't know.
Well, into the tube.
Okay.
I'll get to-
And for the record, on the map, on the page that you guys are on, if you go left to the grid, this is what the image looks like of the explosion pattern.
There's a map.
Wait, left.
Next to the creatures.
You've made a scratch pad. How cute.
Yeah,
Look at this guy.
Oh, okay.
Ignore the line through the center.
Neat gel and then boom boom gel. Okay.
It extends out through that pattern. So, for example, they'll start going up like this, et cetera, et cetera. But this is the basis of what it looks like. Yeah.
Nice.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Cool.
Except for that line.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm no Picasso. All right.
Clearly.
No, I am Picasso. That's why that line. Is there.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You off.
Anyway, so you guys are going to head down to the center?
Yes.
Okay. We'll say for the time purposes, you guys get there. And as you make your way to the town center, you see a metal platform that's kind of just rised up in the center. And in the center itself, you see two metal beams with balls on the top of them. The balls have a arc of electricity. And you see being walked out of the compound what appears to be a man in chains. His mouth is gagged and his eyes are blindfolded. They move him up into the center and a man comes to speak up. And with that, I think that's a good place to call it for the day.
All right.
Son of a bitch. Dope. Guys, that was the first episode of Knights of Truth. It starts with a bang. And boy, did it start with a bang. We have a few new people to Numenera here. We have a few old veterans to Numenera here. So let's go around, do our introductions. Let's go host a friend of ours. We'll start with our illustrious GM. Bob, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Yeah, my name is Bob. I've been GMing for a long time. I've done some one-shot on this channel. You can find me at Dyson Heroes. In fact, tomorrow I am starting it's going to be the first session of our Waterdeep campaign. So, yeah. Other than that, you can find me here in chat or find me on my channel.
Hell yeah.
How deep's the water?
So
yeah, it gets really deep.
So deep. It's deeper than an emo song. That being said, Mythomatic, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what have you been up to?
I'm Mythomatic. I'm deeper than an emo song, as well as Waterdeep. You can find me on my channel where I do things like talking to my microphone with another voice that some people call roleplay. And then I also have sometimes I do some D&D things over there as well. So pop on by, say hello, and bring your bow ties because it's fancy.
Dope. Let's jump over to Doug. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Hey, I'm Doug, Nerder Doug from Nerdarchy. I'm on Twitter at Longshot, and I work with Nerdarchy behind the scenes, helping make videos, run the website, making content. We just had a new thing in the store today, and coming up, so a few months away, but there's one spot left in D&D in a Castle, which is a all-week thing in the UK where you can play D&D in a Castle with me and the Nerdarchy guys for a week.
Hell
so
yeah.
you can go to dndinacastle.com.
That's awesome. McLogan, I'm gonna have you go next, but I'm gonna link something different for you. McLogan, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
You can find me in a lot of places. I have a D&D show that I do on mixer.com/storyquest. Tomorrow I'm on the Counter Roleplay doing D&D stuff. Actually, I'm not doing something. My schedule's not filled up until like probably February. But like I got a campaign I'll be on Fridays. It's a Rogue Trader, Mouse Guard on Sundays. And then, I think that Monday and Tuesday and then Wednesday and then Thursdays are off.
Nice. You're just a busy, busy man. On all that on top of full-time
I just
job.
like playing tabletop.
That's
and
true.
then if you guys play TRP, Atlas, and if you run into a character called Buzz Mulligan, that's me.
Nice. Dope.
Prepare to be stream sniped.
I think Myth does play.
I don't stream it, so that's the thing.
Coming after you.
Now he
I'm
knows.
buying the game right now.
Now they know. Now it's out there. Guys, if you like the show, please join us in the Discord. That is the hub of our community. We actually have a chat just for this game. So give us your feedback there. Tell us what you like, what you didn't like, and what you want to see in the future. If you guys want to support the channel, please go check out our Patreon. We are so close to hitting our second goal, and when we do, we're going to do a 12-hour stream for the success of hitting our second goal. That being said, we're going to go jump over and throw a raid to our good friend, the Bubbernaut. He is streaming some D&D 5e prep. Go check him out. Give him all of your hot, sticky raid love. And from all of us to you guys, bye.